Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and SITREP for the day of 557 for the 3rd of September. At the border region, the Ukrainian forces launched a sortie into the Bryansk region. Again, this time around the fighting is reported at Bodivote in the Bryansk region. According to the information from Ryba, they reported that the Ukrainian forces attacked after they bombarded the location with mortar, and fighting seems to have subsided. I think the Ukrainian forces have did not work out and managed to capture the town, or I do not think they are meant to capture the town either. So that's all from the Bryansk region. Over in the Black Sea, region, the Ukrainian forces launched yet another amphibious assault towards Olenivka. That's the plan, at least. They actually launched their attack from Zatoka, and then they actually turned to move towards Olenivka. However, they got spotted and destroyed by the Russian Air Force. According to further information from Ryba, the pro-Russian source, they reported in details what actually happened. They say that the Ukrainian forces changed their tactic. This time around, they did not move out from Vukovo, but instead from Zatoka, which is here. And then they have a drone actually providing guidance. However, this drone got shot down by the Pantsir air defense system, and as a result, without the drone guidance and support for reconnaissance purposes and intelligence, the Ukrainian amphibious assault is cancelled. But the Russians actually sent air force to go after these boats. The Sukhoi 24M bombers discovered these boats northwest, 43 kilometers northwest of Bakhmut. I believe is around here, so it's actually a lot closer, I guess. And they got hit by 4 cluster bombs. Then the boats got sunk. There's another boat that actually managed to get away. Sukhoi 30 SM dropped 2 bombs on them, but it looks like did not hit the target. And the Ukrainian remaining of the boat that was unharmed returned back to Zatoka. So this is what happens over in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. If the Ukrainians are continuing to try to harass the Russian forces on Crimea. We move on. There's nothing over the Kherson region into the Zaporizhia front. At the Zaporizhia front, in the Orikhiv sector, this is Orikhiv. At the Orikhiv sector, the Ukrainian forces continue their operations within this region here, with fighting reported south of Robotine in the northeastern part of Novoprokopivka, western part of Verbove, towards Verbove, as well as the northeastern part of Verbove. Although the northwestern part might actually also be this one. It might be the same thing. At Robotine, the Russian Defense Ministry say that they are attacking Ukrainian troops at Robotine, claiming that they have improved the tactical situation in the region. They did not mention about fighting in the south. They just say it's near, and they have always used this word near. Deep State UA reported the fighting is actually in the south of Robotine, and there's also in the northeastern part of Novoprokopivka. So which means the Ukrainian forces are trying to attack the Russian settlement, or a Russian controlled settlement of Novoprokopivka in 2 different directions. There is this stronghold in this position. We're not sure if the Ukrainians managed to capture it at all. And over in the Verbove region, in the western part, there is fighting reported by Deep State UA, saying that the fighting is at the west of Verbove. This is actually somewhat corroborated by the Russian sources, saying that the Ukrainians are attacking Verbove. Might actually be the same thing. The Russian Defense Ministry say that they are actually on the counter. This is the same information with the one at Robotine, with the Russian forces attacking the Ukrainian forces. There's another piece of information coming from Ryba saying that the Ukrainians conducted attacks northwest of Verbove. Although I marked it here, it might actually be here, because this part is also northwest. So we shall see how this goes. I haven't really seen Ryba showing releasing mappings on this area. So anyway, that's all for this part of the front line. We move into Velyka Novosilka sector. This Velyka Novosilka. At the Velyka Novosilka sector, we have geolocation of Russian forces over at Staromilnivka. And this geolocation by Dnipro Osin shows that Russians are here, which means that any claims of Ukrainian forces entering or conquered Staromilnivka is definitely not true. As far as my understanding, the Ukrainians are still very far away from Staromilnivka. Fighting is reported at Uruzhaine. The Russian Defense Ministry said that they did active actions against Ukrainian forces at Uruzhaine, and also over here at Prione. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported that the Russians attacked in the area of Prione. So probably, attacking northward, trying to push back the Ukrainian forces from Prione. So otherwise, the entire front line over in this region indeed has went really quiet. And this actually confirms that the Ukrainian forces indeed has given up the offensive over in the Velyka Novosilka sector towards Bryansk. We move on to the Donetsk front. At the Donetsk front, we have fighting reported in the area of Shevchenko, with Ryba reported Ukrainians attacking between Novomayoske and Yehorivka. Novomayoske is here, Yehorivka is here, so which means the Ukrainian forces are actually attacking Shevchenko. They could have just said Shevchenko, but anyway, the Russian Defense Ministry actually reported, Vostok Group of forces reported that the Ukrainian forces are getting attacked in the area of Shevchenko. So this actually corroborates the information. So most likely the Russian forces are attacking Ukrainian forces as probably gathering in the region. They are currently also probably conducting some kind of assault. So there is definitely some kind of flaring up of fighting in this southwestern part of Voleda. So we move on to the Voleda region. At the Voleda region, this Voleda, there is a corroboration of previous information about fighting in this area here, which was first reported by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. The Russian Defense Ministry reported, the Vostok Group of forces reported that they attacked Ukrainian forces northeast of Mykolaiv. So this is Mykolaiv, northeast is actually here. So the Russian forces are indeed attacking in this direction towards Voleda, which is probably why the Ukrainians claim that there is fighting around Voleda region. So that's all from the Voleda region. Over at Novomihailivka, we have the usual. The Russian Defense Ministry reported fighting in the area of Novomihailivka. Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported that the Russians are attacking in Marinka region, and so this is pretty usual. And that's all from the Donetsk front. We move into the Avdiivka front. At the Avdiivka front, we have fighting reported at Zheveny. This time around, the Russian Defense Ministry claims that the Ukrainians attacked in the area of Zheveny. So previously, we have the Russians attacking east of Zheveny. So let's see how this goes. There is fighting reported at Avdiivka, according to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Based on previous information from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, the Russians probably attacked from the south, because in their reports, the Russians tend to be attacking from the south. In the north, we have I think this the Russian Defense Ministry reported fighting at Vasily. I probably have reported this as well yesterday. So that's all for the Avdiivka front. We move on to the New York front. We have nothing over at New York front. Sorry, today the Zoom is a bit weird. Maybe it's a bit laggy. And we go to the Bakhmut front. At the Bakhmut front, we have fighting reported in the southern part of Bakhmut. Fighting is continue to be reported at Klishchiivka, with the Ukrainians already entered Klishchiivka. Fighting is still ongoing in this region here, and this reported by Ryba. But the Russian Deep State UA say that the Russian forces are trying to push back at Klishchiivka, so there might be some counter attack operations currently happening within this area here, with the Russians attacking backwards. So that's all for Klishevka. Further south, we have geolocation of the front line north of Andriivka. Dnipro, the pro-Ukrainian source, reported a geolocation where they saw Ukrainian and Russian tanks destroyed in this area here. So this actually shows that this is actually where the front line of fighting is currently ongoing, and also suggests that this is probably a gray zone given the destruction of these equipments. Ukrainians are still attacking Andriivka according to Deep State UA. They say that fierce fighting is happening around this area here, and the other pro-Ukrainian source, Maroshinikov, previously reported this in the 16th of August, so this is not news. And that's all for Andriivka. Bakhmut is still getting attacked directly by the Ukrainian forces. According to Russian Defense Ministry, they say that the Ukrainian forces launched attack against Bakhmut. Again, they did not mention in detail where exactly they attacked. And in the northern flank of the Bakhmut front, there is some clashes in the Avdiivka reservoir region, which is around here. So this positional, this is not an active assault, so it's just a clashing, shooting at each other. So that's all from the Bakhmut front. There's nothing to report over at the Siversk front. We move into the Kreminna front. At the Kreminna front, we have Ukrainians continuing their operations to attack the Kreminna front, with the Russian Defense Ministry Center Group of Forces reported that the Ukrainians attacked in the Serebranski Forestry and in the Torske region. However, Russian Defense Ministry also mentioned that they are attacking Ukrainian forces. They are attacking the 63rd and 67th Mechanized Brigade and 12 Special Forces in the area of Yampolivka, which is here, Yampolivka, Dibrova, as well as near Serebranski Forestry. So the fighting is still ongoing as usual in this area here. And I just want to zoom in to show you how small a soldier could be. Imagine a soldier, and now you zoom out. Yeah, this forest is huge. So it's going to be hellish to fight in this area here. We move further to the Svetove front. At the Svetove front, we have heavy fighting reported around the Novo-Yehorivka region. Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported that the Russians are attacking in the Novo-Yehorivka region. And with more details, we actually have Ryba reporting that the fighting has intensified near Novo-Yehorivka, and then they actually says that the Russians managed to improve their tactical positions, expand the zone control around the village, claiming that they actually have some kind of control. There is a lot of talks about fighting in the heights in the vicinity, which is actually in the north. This is the high ground in the north. And however, Deep State UA said that the Ukrainians actually managed to push the Russian backward, eastward. However, they are still monitoring the situation, as this is a contradicting information between the Ukrainian and the pro-Russian sources. Both claim that they are making advance. So we shall see how this goes. And as you can see, the Ukrainians mapping has increased. The zone of control previously was around here, and showing that they are actually have more grounds. These are gray zones according to Deep State UA's mapping. However, but the Russian Defense Ministry actually reported that they are actually defending themselves from the Ukrainians in the north of this place called Svelovka. Svelovka is actually the old name of Sverdlovklibove. And basically, this suggests that the Russians actually have control in the north of Sverdlovklibove. So, which means the Russians might actually have more advance. So this actually makes it very complicated because both sides, the Ukrainian and the Russian sides, both claims the same thing, that they actually expanded their control and pushed the enemy backwards. So depending on how you want to read it, it could be one of them could be more true or more correct than the other. So that's all from the Novo-Yehorivka region. And at the Svetove front, we move into the Kupyansk front. We have no reports, zero reports of any fighting over at the Kupyansk front, and we are definitely seeing the end of the Kupyansk offensive entirely. since the previous attack was reported at Kaislivka. And that's it from the Kupyansk front. And this is the summary and SITREP for the day of 557. And I'll see you in the next update.